Hello again, Suzanne here, your angel intuitive and spiritual guidance counselor. The itchy nose. So we're going to do part 4 of the intuitive development series. Little sneak peeks into the trainings, but just to get you practicing and building up your gifts and your abilities. So today we want to talk about claircognizance. I go back and forth with it. The clear feeling and the clear knowing. It's kind of the clairsentient and the claircognizant are kind of similar, but not. So claircognizance is clear knowing. Now, this is the one that I will say many people have and don't realize it because it's just so natural, right? You just know things. It's like, it's also the hardest one to teach because certain thing, it's just when you just know something, it's hard to teach people. It's like, oh yeah, you just know it. Practice just knowing things. But a lot of people have it and they don't realize that it's an intuitive aspect because it's like, well, I don't know how I know. I just know things, right? How do I know the answer to that? I don't know. I just know. But it's the main thing with claircognizance, clear knowing, is trusting it. Trusting what you get. Trusting what you're knowing. Know that you know that you know, right? Which is always fun. And it's probably, I think I won't say it's one of the stronger ones. It depends. But most people who are claircognizant will have the others as well, but they explain what they're getting through the other aspects. So what it's like they just know something is happening, or they know someone is a certain way, or whatever's going on in someone's world. They, if someone asks a question, they just know the answer. It's like, well, how'd you know that? I don't know, I just know. When I was a kid, for example, when I was a kid, people would ask questions. Some specific example that I still remember from when I was about 5. My mom was asking my sister about an album or a song. It's like, oh, that song, who does that? Who sings that one song? And I just knew, and I just answered. And as I am saying the woman's name, then kind of at the same time, but a little because the name's already coming out, then I see an album cover. I hear the song. I see an album cover with the woman and her name. And it's pretty cool. And then my mom's like, oh yeah, that's it. And then, oh, wait a minute. How'd you know that? I don't know. I just knew it. And then it's, okay, whatever. Go on. Oh, you must have heard that somewhere or on the radio or whatever. But I didn't do a lot of that. I didn't listen to the radio that much then. However, there's different ways that we receive it. We can go into, again, a lot of times when people talk about, oh, I just have a gut feeling. Well, that can be clairsentient, so clear feeling, because I'm feeling it in my gut, or I feel it in my heart. I'm just getting a heart knowing or whatever, or it's instinct, my instinct, and oftentimes that one's closer to the clear knowing. Whereas if you feel something in your body, there's a reaction. But also in the knowing aspect, our human brains tend to question that. So when we get an answer or we know something that we don't know how we know it, we start to doubt. So to confirm that we know what we know, we will ask in our head or go, how did I know that? And then you'll get a feeling or a sensation through your body to confirm it. And that kind of goes along with clairsentient, but you're feeling confirmation as opposed to feeling the information. Does that make sense? A little bit, maybe? maybe if I ramble a little bit longer. I'm trying to make shorter videos, just little teasers here to get you thinking and working and playing with your abilities. So, little things like that. What can you think of times where someone said something and you just knew? Or even sometimes the premonitions people will have come out of nowhere, or they'll drive by a building and just know that it has burned before, or it will burn down, or something like that. Sometimes it's a thought like, oh, that building's burned before. Sometimes they'll get the visual, clairvoyance. Sometimes they'll get a visual of seeing the flames around it, or they will just know that's the history of that building, for example. Okay, so there's different ways around it, different aspects. So again, think about times in your life where you felt that, or I caught myself, or where you've known something that you don't know how you knew it, and then you checked it out and you were accurate. Oftentimes a good way to practice is with historical things. Looking at a building, walking through a place, ghost hunting kind of stuff. Usually people will feel things. You'll feel the energies, you'll feel the presence, you'll feel whatever, or you'll see lights, you'll hear voices, you will hear footsteps or whatever. But the knowers will walk in and go, oh, this is the room. Or they're doing a little game. Okay, which room is haunted? Which room has the most activity? And you can walk by and go, it's that one. Did you feel something? You just know it. Or you can just say, oh, room number such and such. And then you see the number in your head as you're saying it, right? So it's that kind of thing. It's a little different. And see why it's harder to teach people how to use it. It's more of working with you to understand that you just know things. I know it sounds so simple, but so crazy at the same time. But play with that this week. What do you know? What do you know? What do you know that you know? But you don't know how you know. So play with that and have a beautiful week.